Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys like my videos. This is a story of what if Naruto becomes the Black Death of Konoha. Naruto changes in the Wave arc. It all starts from the bridge that Tazuna built. Before we start, be sure to check the description for the creator of this great fanfic, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and give review of this video. So let's start. Chapter 8. Chunin Exams. Second exam. Everyone was at a training ground with fences all around it. This is training ground 44. It is considered to be the most dangerous training ground used in Konoha. Anko said as a loud roar echoed. This place is known as the Forest of Death. She added, scaring the kids. Stop scaring the kids and let go of my ear. Naruto yelled as she yanked again, making him yelp in pain. I will need you all to sign the waivers. Anko said as a Chunin started to pass all the genin a piece of paper. This basically states that if you die in there, the village of Konoha is not at fault. Anko added cheerily. You are crazy, ow. Naruto yelled as Anko yanked again. You're going to rip my damn ear off. Naruto exclaimed as she pulled his ear again. Language, Naruto-kun. Anko warned as she pulled him away from the other genin. Naruto, I want you to listen to me. She said seriously. I know that you are strong, but don't get too confident. There are things in there that can and will kill you. She warned. Okay, Nei-chan. Naruto told Anko before wrapping his arms around the woman. When he pulled away, he pulled the cloak around his shoulders. His face disappeared in shadows. All that shone was his two cerulean blue eyes. I will be careful. Naruto told her. You better be. Anko told Naruto as she attempted to grab his ear again, but he dodged her. Not going to happen again. Naruto told her as he walked back to the genin as he rubbed his ear. Damn crazy woman. Naruto mumbled as he narrowly dodged a kunai. I heard that. Anko chirped. Jeez, you would think she wasn't my sister figure. Naruto mumbled as he easily dodged a kunai. Ha! He yelled as he dodged another kunai. After a lot of several failed attempts to make Naruto bleed, Anko gave up and turned to the genin. There is a tower in the center of the forest. You will have to get there with your team if you want to pass the exam. You will also need to get both the Heaven Scroll and Earth Scroll. This will narrow the combatants for the final exam in at least half. She told them. And if you open the scroll before you make it to the tower, let's just say you don't want to do that. She said with a smirk. Naruto shook his head at her. Now go retrieve your scrolls and go to a gate. They will release on my go. She told everyone. Naruto nodded to Sakura, who nodded back and went to the place where they were randomly passing scrolls out. They walked away towards an empty gate. Naruto hid behind a tree. Naruto, what are you doing? Sakura asked. I don't know what she has done, but I am sure it will be big. Naruto warned. I know her very well. Something will happen when she starts this exam. Naruto added. Sakura nodded and hid next to Naruto. Sasuke scoffed and stood next to the gate. Suit yourself. Naruto told him as he covered his ears as Anko yelled, begin. Suddenly there were 21 consecutive explosions were heard. Sakura and Naruto saw Sasuke fly through the air next to them and slammed into the tree. I tried to warn you. Naruto told the boy as he walked towards him to see that he was unconscious. Naruto, what will we do? Sakura asked, looking at Sasuke. Naruto said as he checked Sasuke for injuries. No worries, he just hit his head. Naruto said as he slapped Sasuke awake. Wake up, Sasuke. Naruto repeated with each slap until Sasuke woke up to burning cheeks. Ah. Why do my cheeks hurt? He demanded angrily. I do not know. Naruto said, making Sakura giggle. But anyways, let's get moving. Naruto said, leaping through the gate with Sakura close behind. Sasuke stayed behind for a second, rubbing his cheek before following the two with a scowl. 2 hours later, they had leapt for 2 hours straight and went as fast as Sasuke could. 2 hours till dark. Naruto thought as he stopped. Sakura stopped next to him. We will camp here for the night. Naruto said. What, tired? Sasuke mocked. No, I have enough energy to stay up for around 7 days training without stopping. Naruto said. But we would have made more ground if we didn't have to slow down because of someone. Naruto said as Sasuke glared at Sakura. Wrong person, Sasuke. Naruto told Sasuke flatly. Sakura and I could have gone faster, but you wouldn't be able to keep up. Naruto added as Sasuke glared at him with the Sharingan active. Is that supposed to scare me? Naruto asked as his eyes turned red and slitted. His whisker marks became deeper. His teeth grew and became pointed along with his fingernails. You are not the only one with a dujutsu. Naruto said as his eyes changed back to normal. Sakura set up a tent. Naruto ordered. I will get wood and Sasuke can start a fire. Naruto said. Why do I start the fire? Sasuke demanded angrily because he was ordered to do something. Well, I don't know, maybe because Sakura is an earth user and I am a wind water user. Naruto said sarcastically. Shadow clone jutsu. Naruto said as he crossed his fingers and made 20 clones. They split up and went to look for pieces of dry wood. Sasuke glared at where the real Naruto went into the woods. Damn bastard. Sasuke muttered. Earth style. Area descend. Sakura exclaimed as the earth shuddered. Sasuke looked at Sakura to see the earth beneath her start to sink and walls formed around her. This should be deep enough, she thought as she did the jutsu again and made a fire pit. Where did you learn that? Sasuke asked. Naruto gave me a scroll with this on it. Sakura explained as the first set of Narutos came back with a lot of wood and puffed away. This happened until they had a large amount of wood, but the real Naruto still hasn't been back and it had been about 2 hours since he made the clones. Where is Naruto? Sakura asked, getting worried. Like I care. Sasuke asked as he sat next to the fire he had created. Sakura glared at the Uchiha. By the way, what other jutsus do you know? Maybe if they are strong I will go on a date with you. Sasuke added. She wouldn't pass this opportunity. Sasuke thought. Like I would tell you. Sakura shot back, making the boy angry. If I have to buy a date with you with jutsus I wouldn't care one way if you offered a date. Sakura added as she walked towards her tent and placed a seal on it. I am going to look for Naruto. Sakura said as she walked out of the place she made. She walked out and could barely see. This will be hard, his cloak is black too. Sakura thought as she waited for her eyes to adjust to the darkness. She slowly started to walk towards the direction Naruto had gone. She walked for about 30 minutes before she found Naruto fighting a girl fiercely with his katana. You are good Kyubi brat. The girl said as she swung her sword at Naruto to have it be parried. Maybe I should take that katana from you. She added as Naruto made a jab with his katana. Like hell you could wield this. Naruto replied as he snapped his katana back to block an attack aimed for his chest. Naruto leapt back. Tell me, you have to be at least Junin level to go toe-to-toe with me. Naruto said. Maybe I am just a very good genin. The girl replied. I highly doubt that. Naruto said as his arms started to blur, leaving red streaks where his arms were going. Unfortunately I have to be going. The girl said before sinking into the ground. Naruto growled as he turned to see Sakura. Sakura, what are you doing here? Naruto demanded as he looked at her. She was too busy looking at the battlefield in front of her. I came to look for you. Sakura said as she looked at the damage done. Come on back. Naruto said as he sheathed his katana and walked past her. She noticed his eyes were blood red and slitted. Naruto, do you have a Kekkei Genkai? Sakura asked. Of sorts I guess. Naruto said as she followed him back towards the encampment. We will leave at sun up. Naruto said as his eyes changed back to blue. 5 a.m. the next morning Naruto had stayed up the entire night vigilant for that grass shinobi to show up again. Naruto was sure that shinobi would be back sooner or later, and he knew it was the former. Who or what could that person be? Naruto thought as he looked at the dying fire. Naruto made a hand sign and pointed his finger at the fire to douse it with water. Not many people can beat me. Naruto thought again as he walked over to the tent that Naruto had sealed, preventing Sasuke from entering it. His reasoning was that he didn't trust him with Sakura alone in the tent. This angered the Uchiha. Naruto slapped the tent. Sakura, time to wake up. He said, and he walked over to Sasuke and kicked his foot, jolting him awake. Time to wake up. Naruto said as he looked at the sun just cracking over the horizon. We have about 17 hours till night. Naruto thought. We will try to get the scroll today. Naruto said. Anyone have a plan? Naruto asked as Sakura walked out. We come across someone, beat them up and take their scroll. Sasuke said arrogantly. Sakura and Naruto stared at him. Okay, any good plans? Naruto asked indirectly, insulting the Uchiha boy. We could set up traps. Sakura suggested. We could use the forest's creatures against people. Sakura added. That is a good idea. Naruto said as he heard something. Sha. Naruto whispered as he vanished in a globe of black. He reappeared outside of the structure Sakura had made. He was in the shadows completely hidden from view. He saw 5 squads of rain shinobi sneaking up on them. Naruto vanished in his globe and reappeared in the structure. 5 squads are sneaking up on us. Naruto whispered to them. We will set up an ambush for them. Naruto whispered again as Sakura nodded as Naruto got between her and Sasuke so she could do a few hand signs without Sasuke copying them. She pressed her hand on the ground and the 3 started to sink into the ground. Naruto had made 3 clones, 2 of them turned into Sasuke and Sakura. The Sakura clone walking into the tent as the Naruto and Sasuke clones seemed to be sleeping. Naruto nodded to Sakura and she pressed her other hand onto the ground and 2 of the walls expand backwards and curved. Sakura nodded at Naruto and he crossed his fingers. Shadow clone jutsu. Naruto whispered quietly as he made clones that filled the tunnel that Sakura made with his clones. Naruto placed one hand on each wall and closed his eyes. He was feeling the vibrations from the shinobi's feet. All 15 shinobi were in the structure and were sneaking towards the clones. Naruto took his hand off the wall behind them and held his hand up and took one finger down at a time. Once he had a fist, Sakura quickly made the ceiling completely turn to dust and Naruto's clones launched out and attacked the rain shinobi. Sakura went through the chaos knocking out any rain shinobi in her way. In a few minutes all the shinobi were knocked out and tied up. Naruto and Sakura were searching for the scrolls and saw that each squad had both scrolls. Why did they attack us? Sakura asked. To take out some of the competition. Naruto told her as he pocketed all the scrolls. Come on, let's get going. Naruto said as he dispersed all the clones and stood straight. Our fight definitely attracted a lot of attention and we are in danger. You scared of a few shinobi? Sasuke asked arrogantly. Yeah, let's go with that. Naruto said a little nervously. They heard a howling coming towards them. Let's go. Naruto exclaimed as he leapt away with Sakura close behind. Naruto, what was that? Sakura asked. I don't know and I don't want to know. Naruto said as his eyes darted around. Suddenly a gust of wind came towards them. Naruto clapped his hands in front of him and sliced the weak wind attack in half. Naruto looked around and his eyes landed on the grass shinobi again. I was wondering when you would come back. Naruto said coldly as he gazed at the woman. Killer intent leaked from the girl. It was incredible but didn't faze Naruto in the least. Naruto started to release his own killer intent that squashed the girl's killer intent. What do you want? Naruto asked as he placed his hand on his katana. Kukuku, well Naruto-kun, I just came to talk with Sasuke-kun. The girl said as Naruto got defensive. Naruto's eyes narrowed before launching forward and attacked the grass shinobi with his katana. Naruto started to dodge and block all of the shinobi's attacks. But Naruto knew that the shinobi was toying with him. What am I going to do? Naruto thought as the girl smirked. Oh well, the seal becomes visible when you tap into its chakra. The grass shinobi said, shocking Naruto enough. 5 elemental seal, the girl exclaimed as she slammed her hand into Naruto's stomach making him cough up blood and slide to the ground unconscious. Sakura and Sasuke stared in amazement at the shinobi as she turned and smirked viciously at them. Well Sasuke-kun, she said before attacking him. Sasuke couldn't track the shinobi's movement with his Sharingan active. He was suddenly rocketing towards the wall. My, if this is what the elite Uchiha clan is reduced to, I am saddened. The girl said, making Sasuke mad, which in turn made the girl smirk. Good, just a little more anger and I can place that seal on him. The girl thought. Maybe I should wake Naruto-kun up and fight him again, he did much better last night though. The girl added, and that did what she wanted. Killer intent was pouring out of the Uchiha boy. She smirked and suddenly her neck grew and launched towards Sasuke. Her teeth were about to sink into Sasuke's neck but a katana blocked her teeth. Don't think I am out. Naruto gasped out as he aimed for the shinobi's elongated neck. Oh ho, you are quite feisty, but with your secondary chakra sealed away you are a weakling. The shinobi said as she slammed her fist into Naruto's stomach making him cough blood up again, but he didn't pass out this time. So she kicked the side of Naruto's head launching him into a tree head first. This knocked Naruto out cold. Now that he is out of the way, it is time for you Sasuke-kun. The shinobi said as she released even more killer intent freezing the two in place. The shinobi's neck extended and sank her fangs into Sasuke's neck and forced her tainted chakra into his neck and a seal formed. Now I am done. The girl said as she sank into the ground and Sasuke fell over unconscious. Sakura was looking between Naruto and Sasuke, shocked that Naruto was beaten so easily. She shook her head and started to drag Naruto towards a tree that had its roots partially above the ground, creating a shelter that was hidden from view. She dragged Sasuke under it too and noticed the strange mark on his neck. I have to set up traps for anyone who attacks us, she thought as she started to lay out paper bombs and smoke bombs along with genjutsu traps that would lead the shinobi away from them. 20 hours later. It had been 20 hours since the fight and the two boys haven't even woken up. Naruto was tossing and turning, but that was it. He would occasionally grab his stomach and cry out in pain. Sakura pulled his shirt up to show a slightly glowing seal under his shirt. What is this seal? Sakura thought before Naruto grabbed her wrist in his slumber. She had to use a lot of her strength in order to get her wrist out of his grip. She looked out across the clearing in front of the natural shelter and saw a squirrel about to detonate one of her explosive tags. Sakura, thinking fast, threw a kunai that hit right in front of the squirrel, making it scared and quickly ran away. Sakura gave a sigh of relief, but that was short-lived when 3 shinobi landed in front of the shelter and walked towards Sakura. Oh no, what do I do? She thought. She hadn't slept in 20 hours and was incredibly tired. The shinobi walked towards her as she walked out of the shelter and stood at the entrance. What do you want? Sakura demanded. Well, our master told us to kill Sasuke. The guy with bandages said with a smirk. Can I get this girl? The other male said. It has been a while since I had a little fun, he said as his eyes racked over Sakura's body. Geez, you are so. The female of the group couldn't find the correct word. Let me take her, I haven't had a good fight in a while. The girl added. Can beat this girl fast. The bandaged man said as he looked at them. Can't I have a little fun? She asked with a maniacal smirk. I like beating these wannabe kunoichi that bring a bad name to all kunoichi. Kin added as she attacked Sakura. Sakura had held her own from the onslaught from the other girl, but Sakura's tiredness and smaller chakra reserves was her downfall and ended up falling to her knees. Like I said, you are nothing. The girl said as she grabbed Sakura's hair. Nothing. That word echoed through Sakura's head. I am not nothing. She thought angrily as Kin took a kunai out and was about to bring the kunai down to Sakura's throat when Sakura grabbed a kunai of her own. I am not noting. Sakura roared before slicing her own hair off, making Kin stumble backwards from the sudden action. Sakura then threw the kunai at Kin only for it to be blown away. Oh, now I am mad. Kin said angrily and advanced towards Sakura, but instantly stopped when she felt cold steel against her throat. Naruto. Sakura exclaimed, relieved. 2 things make me incredibly mad. Naruto said. One is threatening my friends and the other is waking me rudely. Naruto told the girl. Maybe I should kill you. Naruto threatened as he pressed the blade tighter against the girl's throat. The girl started to shake. Leave now before I change my mind. Naruto said dangerously. His icy blue eyes making them shiver in fright. But that fright was misplaced when an evil chakra was being released from inside the shelter. Naruto's eyes darted to the shelter to see purple chakra pouring out of the shelter. What is that? Naruto thought as he tracked Sasuke fly through the air faster than Naruto has ever seen him move towards one of the shinobi. He instantly had his foot between the shinobi's shoulder blades and had each arm held behind him. A sickening pop and a cry of anguish were heard. Naruto saw the marks on his neck and face and his eyes widened. Sasuke, stop! Naruto yelled as the boy turned and glared viciously at Naruto. He looked ready to attack Naruto. Shut up, Naruto. Sasuke told him viciously. Naruto moved faster than Sasuke could track and knocked him out. Sasuke slumped over and the marks retreated. The leader of the group laid a scroll on the ground. We will give you this and you let us go. The man said. Naruto reached into his cloak to reveal 6 earth scrolls and 5 heaven scrolls. I think I got plenty. Naruto said. Now leave. Naruto ordered as the man lifted his downed teammate and leapt away, leaving the scroll. Naruto turned to see Sakura fall over from exhaustion. Naruto walked over and picked the scroll up before walking over to Sasuke and hauling him onto his shoulder and did the same to Sakura but gentler. My chakra control is out of whack, I can't perform a shunshin. Naruto thought as he leapt away towards the tower. Unknown to him they were being watched, or so the person thought as Naruto suddenly vanished in a burst of speed and was moving through the forest at an incredible speed. My speed has decreased too. Naruto thought as he moved. And why can't I contact Kyubi-chan? Naruto could see the tower in the distance and he was moving fast through the forest. No one could see Naruto moving, and it didn't take him long to make it to the tower. Naruto could feel his strength leaving him again. Oh god, if I can't get there in time we are doomed. Naruto thought as he increased his speed again. He was now moving so fast he barely dodged trees that were in his way. He saw the tower approaching fast. Just a little longer. Naruto thought as he moved. Naruto made one final leap before landing in front of the tower. Naruto's legs were getting weaker as he walked. Just a little longer. Naruto mumbled as he staggered to the gate. He weakly pushed it open and walked in. Sakura and Sasuke fell from his shoulders as he fell to his own knees. I have to do something. Naruto thought as the edges of his vision started to become black. He reached into his cloak and pulled one of the many scrolls from his cloak and opened it to reveal a word. He opened the other to show a phrase. He fell forward. The last thing he saw was smoke coming from the scroll and his name being yelled. Chapter 8. Chunin Exams, Second Exam End. Chapter 9. Anko's Ordeal. Anko was lounging on the top of the structure outside of Training Grounds 44. She was currently worrying about Naruto. Her nerves were on edge because she knew what was in that forest and she was afraid something bad will happen to Naruto. She was so absorbed in her thoughts she didn't notice the scared Chunin run up to her. Anko-san. The Chunin asked timidly, gaining the woman's attention. What? Anko demanded. Why you or N needed S somewhere. The Chunin said. It is very important. He added nervously as Anko leapt in front of him. Anko was getting angry. Well, show me where to go. Anko yelled at the poor scared Chunin, making him instantly run away. Anko was following him. It didn't take the scared Chunin to lead Anko to where three bodies were. Each of them didn't have a face. Anbu were around the bodies and saw Anko pale. Go tell the Hokage about this. Anko ordered before running towards Training Grounds 44 at full speeds. Wind was whistling past her as she tried to increase her speed. It didn't take her long to make it to the training grounds and into it. She was looking around everywhere for a certain man. She suddenly had to dodge a kunai that was aimed at her head. She swiveled to see her old sensei Orochimaru. Orochimaru, she growled. Well, my little Anko-chan is all grown up. Orochimaru said with a sadistic smile. Don't call me that. Anko growled before attacking Orochimaru. But he just laughed and dodged all of her attacks. You know I placed the seal on someone. Orochimaru stated simply. Oh god. Anko gasped. Oh, do not worry, I didn't seal your precious little brother. Orochimaru said. But maybe I should. With the seal and that demon he would be unstoppable. He felt a huge amount of killer intent. My did I hit a nerve? Orochimaru asked as he dodged Anko again. It was easy because she was blinded by rage. He made a hand sign and Anko instantly dropped to her knees and grasped her neck and screamed in pain. Now that you have calmed down. Do not worry, I will not seal that weak brat. Orochimaru told her. And I don't care if you tell Sarutobi-sensei about me. He added before leaving the crumpled Anko. Oh, and Konoha will burn. He added before sinking into the tree. I must tell the Hokage. She gasped through the pain in her neck. Anko weakly stood and started to stagger towards the edge of forest. She made it into a large clearing when 5 giant animals surrounded her. I can't beat them all. Anko thought before falling forward unconscious. 2 hours later, Anko had been out for 2 hours. Her head was nestled onto a very comfy warm pillow. She snuggled up to the pillow and heard giggling. Anko-chan, how do you like Iruka-kun's lap? Anko heard her best friend Kurenai say. Anko's eyes snapped open and looked up to see a blushing Iruka. She sat up instantly and couldn't meet anyone's eyes that were in the room. Her head snapped back up when she remembered everything. Hokage-sama, Orochimaru has returned to the village. Anko said, looking at the grandfatherly old man. He nodded. I figured as much when I saw the bodies. Sarutobi said. We have to cancel the Chunin exam. Anko exclaimed. We can't. Sarutobi said, and Anko opened her mouth. If we do that we will show weakness and that will decrease missions and a chance another village will attack us. Sarutobi explained as Anko clamped her mouth shut. Oh, and Orochimaru said he sealed someone. Anko said. That would be Sasuke Uchiha. Kakashi said. Do not worry, I have placed a seal over it. Kakashi added. And you didn't tell me. Sarutobi demanded. He must be pulled from the exam. Anko said. I thought that quick actions would be best. Kakashi stated simply. Do you know what that seal does to a human? Anko demanded as she got in Kakashi's face. When active, any person is more likely to kill someone no matter how nice they are. And while activated, the seal destroys the human brain, making them go insane. Anko told him. The only reason I am sane is because I refuse to use the seal. Anko added. I know what Sasuke is, he will use that power to get what he wants. Anko told Kakashi angrily. It doesn't matter if you place a seal on it, all that does is lessen the pain he feels. It doesn't stop the voices in your head that tells you to kill someone. Anko added. She felt two arms wrapped around her securely. She didn't get the instant kill this person feeling like she normally did. Calm down, Anko-chan. A male voice she knew all too well whispered into her ear. She visibly calmed and sank into the warmth of the hug. I agree with Anko. Sasuke must be pulled from the exam. Kurenai said. I promised Sasuke that if he let me place a seal on him he could participate in the exam. Kakashi said. Kakashi, I will have a word with you after this exam. Sarutobi said. I will decide if he continues or not. Sarutobi told Kakashi as the two left. I think we will leave too. Kurenai said as she grabbed Asuma's hand and dragged him away. How do you feel? Iruka asked. A little pained. Anko admitted. I am sorry for embarrassing you. Anko added. Don't think about it. Iruka said, smiling at her. Why do you chase me all the time? Iruka asked as Anko blushed a little. I like you a lot. Anko whispered, afraid of being rejected. Well, why didn't you tell me? Iruka asked. Instead of rubbing against me, in front of my students, chase me around the village and threaten all the women I have ever dated. Iruka said. I was afraid of being rejected by the only guy, the first love. She admitted and instantly clapped her hands over her mouth. I didn't mean to. Her sentence was cut off by Iruka's lips pressed against hers. She was completely shocked by his sudden movement, and after a while she started to kiss him back. After a while the two split apart. Oh, and if that kiss didn't say it loud enough, I love you too, Anko Mitarashi. Iruka whispered to her, his lips brushing against hers. Anko instantly wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed him again. This was the happiest moment of her life when something, more like someone, came to mind. Oh god, I completely forgot. Anko exclaimed. Naruto, is he alright? Anko asked worriedly. Orochimaru said he didn't seal him, but I don't trust him, I have to see Naruto, she exclaimed. Do not worry, I checked Naruto. Hokage-sama said that he has the 5 elemental seal over the 8 trigram seal and dead demon seal. Iruka told her as she sighed. Oh thank God. She mumbled, relieved that nothing happened to Naruto. He is still unconscious, but if you want I can take you to him. Iruka said as Anko nodded and grabbed his hand as he led her towards Naruto's room. They opened the door to see a girl with shoulder-length indigo hair and pale skin straddling Naruto and making out with him. His hand were currently up the back of her shirt. Iruka blinked at the scene. Anko's mouth was open wide and her eyes widened when the girl moaned his name. What the hell is going on? Anko yelled and the two teens instantly came apart. Both were blushing. Well, she demanded. We were kissing. Naruto exclaimed, embarrassed. Well, your not so little lit friend says otherwise. Anko stated, pointing at the bulge in his pants. Hinata glanced at Naruto and her eyes widened and her blush increased. When we do it, how will that fit in me? Hinata thought and her blush increased tenfold. What are you criticizing us for? Naruto asked. At least I don't do sexual things to her in front of children. Naruto added as Iruka blushed. I remember I had to explain to Konohamaru what you two had done. Izumi didn't know how to explain it to him. Naruto added. What did you tell him? Iruka asked. That you two were wrestling. Naruto said. Good. Iruka said with a sigh. Oh, don't thank me, I promised his mother you would tell him all about sex when he is old enough. Naruto said with a smile as Iruka grimaced. Now leave Hina Heim and I to our business and I will stay out of yours. Naruto said, indicating to Iruka's and Anko's intertwined hands. And I won't tell the Who village that you, he trailed off pointing at Anko, have a soft side, and you, Naruto trailed off again point at Iruka, have a S&M fetish. Naruto said as they both turned red. How does he know? Iruka thought. You better not say anything. Anko said threateningly. You don't see or tell anything and I won't tell the village those things. Naruto said as the two grunted and left the two teens. Now where were we? Naruto asked as he pulled Hinata back on top of him. That was the last thing they saw before closing the door. My little Naruto-kun is growing up. Anko said, wiping a fake tear from her eyes. This made Iruka laugh. You know you didn't deny the S&M fetish. Anko whispered into his ear as he started to stammer and blush. Don't worry, I like it too, master. She whispered as she tugged him towards the rooms. What have I gotten myself into? Twaruka thought as she pulled him into a scarcely furnished room. What do you want me to do, master? Anko asked seductively. Chapter 9. Anko's Ordeal End. Chapter 10. Preliminary Rounds. Hinata and Naruto were currently laying in the bed assigned to him. They were both nearly naked in the bed. Hinata had her head on Naruto's chest. Neither knew how they got down to their underwear, but neither cared. Naruto-kun, it is almost time to get up. Hinata purred. 5 more minutes, Hina Heim. Naruto mumbled groggily. You wouldn't want someone walking in on us again, do you? Hinata asked. Fine. Naruto said as Hinata moved her head from his chest. She started to look around the room for her clothes when the door slammed open. Naruto. Sakura trailed off as she saw the state the two were in. She blinked a few times as she saw the hickeys on Hinata's body. Her gaze changed to Naruto and saw similar marks on his body. Naruto, you pervert. Sakura yelled at Naruto. Hinata had quickly dived under the blankets to cover herself. Sakura calmed down, nothing happened. Naruto said as Hinata started to get flashbacks to the night before and blushed crimson. Then why does she have hickeys on her chest? Sakura exclaimed. Good thing she can't see through the fabrics. Naruto and Hinata thought together. So we were kissing. Naruto said. What else would a boyfriend and girlfriend do? Naruto asked as he got out from under the blankets and started to put his clothes on. I think you should leave so Hinata Heim can get dressed. Naruto said as he slipped his shirt on. Naruto heard the door slam shut. It is safe, Hinata Heim. Naruto told her as she popped her head out from under the blankets and looked around. This was your fault. Hinata accused. You had to get all frisky last night. I do believe it was you who started it because you decided to take a shower with me. Naruto said as he threw her clothes. She started to blush from the memories while she grabbed her clothes and slipped into them. I just thought you would need help washing your back. Hinata defended herself. And that includes kissing each of my whisker marks, and my neck. Naruto asked as Hinata shrugged as she stood. That might have been for me. Hinata admitted as she watched Naruto slip his cloak on without putting the hood up. You did your own touching and kissing if I remember correctly. Hinata said as Naruto shrugged. What can I say, you are irresistible. Naruto said, making the girl blush. Come on Naruto-kun, we have to go before Sakura assumes something is happening. Hinata said. Okay. Naruto said as he watched Hinata reposition her hair to cover her hickeys. He opened the door to see Sakura on one knee with her ear where the door was. You call me a pervert when you were listening to Hinata and I? Naruto asked as the girl eeped. I isn't W what L looks L like. Sakura stuttered. Right. Naruto said as he walked past her. Please don't spy on me again or I will tell Sasuke about that little hiding place you have in his apartment. Naruto told her as her eyes widened. Naruto-kun, you seem to know a lot of things about people, do you know anything about me? Hinata asked. Of course, but you are my Heim and I would never use it. Naruto said, smiling at the girl. She wrapped her arms around his torso and smiled. What is it? She asked. Naruto leant down to her ear. Which one? Naruto whispered. The time you practiced using Byakugan's X-ray vision on me, or the consequential aftermath of that practice. Naruto whispered as the girl's mouth dropped open, eyes widened and a blush creep on her face. But do not worry, that will never make it to the public through me, that is a promise. Naruto said to the blushing girl. He saw me do that. Hinata thought. What did she do? Sakura asked. She made a plushie doll of me. Naruto said, also telling the truth. Wow. Sakura said. You saw it before, Sakura, remember the sleepovers at Ano's house? Hinata asked. Oh yeah. Sakura said thoughtfully as the three walked into the giant arena. Naruto took one look at the gathered genin. Wow, a lot passed. Naruto thought. Too many for the finals. He thought again. Thank you for joining us, Naruto-kun. Sarutobi said. You know, rough night last night. Naruto said as Hinata blushed and hid her face into Naruto's chest. I hope you spent it alone. Sarutobi said. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Naruto said indifferently as Hinata eeped. Sarutobi just shook his head before turning to the assembled genin. Since there are so many genin that passed this test, we will need to have a preliminary round. Sarutobi said. What? Kiba yelled. That isn't fair, weren't the last two tests hard enough? Kiba shut up. Naruto said. The reason for the preliminaries is that there are too many genin for the actual finals. There will be hundreds of VIPs watching the finals and having at most. Naruto trailed off looking at all the teams. 21 people fight would take a long time. Naruto said calmly. Well said, Naruto-kun. Sarutobi said to him as Naruto bowed his head. So we will have a match that will cut you in half once again. Mind if I tell the rest? Junin asked as Sarutobi nodded. I am Hayate Gecko. I will be the proctor of the finals and now the rules will be the same for each. Death, knockout, or if I deem the opponent unable to battle will result in a win. He said. Anything goes in these matches. Naruto raised his hand. Can I talk with Sarutobi Gigi? Naruto asked. It will only take a second. Naruto said as the Junin nodded. Naruto leapt up next to Sarutobi and the other Junin. Gigi, I have a 5-pronged seal over my 8-trigram seal on my stomach, could you remove it? Naruto asked. Sorry Naruto-kun, but I am not good enough to remove that seal, but I do have a friend coming soon and he will remove it for you. Sarutobi said as Naruto nodded. Well, that sucks, my chakra control is like when I first became a genin again. Naruto said sadly before leaping back to the floor. What did you want to forfeit? Kiba asked, to which Naruto ignored him and went to Hinata's side. Naruto-kun, what is it? Hinata asked. Oh, nothing, Gigi can't remove the 5 elemental seal on my stomach. Naruto answered Hinata. Excuse me lover boy, but can I continue? Hayate asked. You just want to continue so you can go see Yugaone-chan. Naruto said as he saw the Junin blush a little. Ahem, if anyone wants to drop out now say so. Hayate said as Kabuto raised his hand. I would like to drop out, my left ear is deaf and I got pretty beat up in the last test. Kabuto said. Fine. Hayate said. Your names will be displayed on that screen and only myself and the 2 participants can be in the area. He said as the screen settled on 2 names. Sasuke Uchiha and Yoroi Akato, everyone else leave the arena. Hayate said as Hinata latched onto Naruto right before he vanished in a cyclone of wind and reappeared on the stands. Why didn't you use the Void Shunshin? Hinata asked. I need a lot of chakra control to do that one, and with that seal on me I have low to none chakra control. Naruto explained. The elemental Shunshins I know take less chakra control. Oh, that is cool. Hinata said. If you want I could teach you the water Shunshin. Naruto said. You have more than enough chakra control to do it. Naruto told her. I would like that Naruto-kun. Hinata said. Let's watch the match. Naruto said as they turned right as the fight began. Wow, Sasuke actually knows taijutsu. Naruto said as Hinata giggled. Naruto could feel that Sasuke's chakra was lowering every time the man touched him. So he steals chakra like Shino. Naruto thought. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke yelled before a giant fireball launched at Yoroi. Yoroi was able to dodge most of the attack but his left arm and leg got caught up in the fireball. Yoroi dropped to the ground in agony. Hayate walked over to Yoroi and looked at him. Yoroi Akato is unable to continue. Sasuke Uchiha is the winner. Hayate said as he saw Sasuke start to sway and Kakashi easily catch him before he hit the ground. I highly doubt he used that much chakra. Hayate thought as he looked at the screen. He waited for the genin to be removed. Shino Aburame and Zaku Abumi come down. Hayate said as he watched Shino easily land on the arena floor. The Aburame clan are weak with taijutsu and with the other kids' broken arms this should be an interesting match. Hayate thought as he looked at the 2. Begin. He said as he watched Zaku pull one of his arms out of his sling and pointed it at Shino who stood still. Shino has won. Naruto said simply as a gust of wind launched at Shino who simply dissolved into bugs. Shino appeared behind Zaku and kicked him in the back. How do you know? Hinata asked. Activate your Byakugan. Naruto said as she followed his instructions and saw that Shino had some of his weakest bugs already in the tubes on Zaku. I saw one of his bugs fly over to Zaku. She watched as Zaku pulled his other arm out. He aimed them both at Shino and released his attack but all the people saw was blood spewing out of his arms. Hinata gasped and hid her face in Naruto's chest. Ouch, his arms exploded at the elbows. Naruto said as he rubbed Hinata's back. Winner Shino Aburame. Hayate said as the medics removed Zaku and Shino went up to the deck. You have become very observant, Naruto-san. Shino said as Naruto shrugged. It was easy to tell when you won when you already plugged his other arm up. Naruto said, smiling at the other boy. Kankuro and Masumi Tsurugu come down. Hayate said as Naruto watched the two walk down. Begin. He said as Masumi instantly stretched and encircled Kankuro's body. Give up, I can crack your neck at any time. Masumi said with a viscous grin. I won't lose to you. Kankuro said as everyone heard a loud crack and the man grinned and let go of Kankuro's body and watched as Kankuro stayed standing. Suddenly pieces of skin started to fall off of Kankuro's body to reveal a puppet. Suddenly the bundled puppet on the puppet's back unraveled itself to reveal the real Kankuro. The puppet instantly opened its chest and brought Masumi into it. He has lost. Kankuro said as 6 blades popped out. Winner Kankuro. Hayate said as he looked for the next participants. Sakura, Haruno and Ino Yamanaka come down. Hayate said as the 2 girls walked down. I am going to show how weak you are, forehead, and I will take Sasuke's love. Ino said. Go ahead and take him, pig. Sakura said. If you know any powerful jutsus, I am sure he would love to take you on a date. Sakura said as Naruto chuckled at her response. Sakura-chan, may your flames of youth burn brightly. Sakura and Ino heard. Sakura had a small blush dust her cheeks. At this point Naruto had started laughing. Who is that forehead? Ino asked. None of your business, pig. Sakura said. Are you two done? Hayate asked as the 2 girls nodded. Begin. Hayate said as the 2 launched at each other and went into a taijutsu match. Everyone could see that Sakura had Ino beat in a taijutsu fight. The fight lasted for a minute before Sakura punched Ino in the stomach, making her fly backwards. Ino skidded to a stop a little ways away. Unknown to Sakura, Ino had finished a quick set of hand signs. Ninja art. Mind-body switch. Ino exclaimed as the jutsu hit Sakura and Ino's body slipped to the floor. Ino will be thrown out in 3, 2, 1. Naruto said as Ino coughed up blood and shot up. How did you know that? Hinata asked. Sakura has strong mental strength. Naruto said as people listened to him. Oh. Hinata replied as she saw Sakura going through a set of hand signs she knew. Naruto, you didn't. Hinata gasped. She told me she didn't have it down. Naruto said, equally stunned. Cherry blossoms. Sakura exclaimed as she finished the genjutsu. What is going on? Ino asked as hundreds of Sakura trees appear. Your loss. She heard Sakura whisper into her ear as cuts started to appear on her body. Soon the genjutsu dissipated and Ino swayed with a lot of cuts covering her body. Sakura was gasping for breath before the 2 fell backwards unconscious. Naruto appeared behind Sakura and caught her. Double knockout. Neither participants will continue. Hayate said as Sakura started to stir. She looked up at Naruto and smiled. Did I do good? Sakura asked. Good, but I think I am going to get in trouble. Naruto said as the 2 vanished and Naruto had her in his arms as he laid her against the wall right as she passed out again. Naruto looked and saw Anko, Kurenai, Kakashi, and Sarutobi walking towards him. Naruto stood and turned to them. Naruto, you are in trouble. Kakashi said. Like I care what you say. Naruto said as he turned to Anko, Kurenai and Sarutobi. Yeah, I know teaching Sakura the shadow clone jutsu is bad, but I know she has enough chakra control and reserves to make 1 clone. Naruto said. She could have died, Naruto. Kurenai said. She is only a genin. She added. So am I, but I can make hundreds, sometimes thousands of clones. Naruto said simply. You are a different circumstance. Sarutobi said. Why? Because I have Kyuubi in me. Naruto asked loud enough for Hinata to hear. The 4 looked nervously at Hinata, who was completely unfazed. Oh, she knows about Kyuubi. Naruto added. Yes, that is exactly why. Sarutobi said. Well, I can sense the amount of chakra people have and I know her chakra control levels and I knew she could handle 1 clone. Naruto defended. You can sense chakra? Anko asked. No wonder I can't beat you up anymore. Can I watch the matches? Naruto asked. I want to know about my competition. Naruto said. Fine. Sarutobi said. But we aren't finished here. He added before walking away. Naruto turned to see Tenten fall onto Temari's fan, her back bending in an almost impossible way. Damn. Naruto said. She uses wind Naruto-kun. Hinata told him as Naruto nodded. Thank you. Naruto said as he saw Shikamaru and Kintsuchi walk down to the arena. How many plans do you think Shikamaru knows? Naruto asked. At least 100. Hinata said as they watched Kin throw Senbon at Shikamaru. Genjutsu user. Hinata said as Naruto nodded, they watched as Shikamaru's shadow connected with Kin's shadow possession success. Shikamaru said in a bored tone as he made Kin walk to the wall behind her and slam her head into the wall, making her pass out. Troublesome women. Shikamaru said. Shikamaru Nara winner. Hayate said as Shikamaru walked back to the stands. Naruto Uzumaki and Kiba Inuzuka come down. He called. Naruto smirked and leapt to the arena floor. As he fell, his cloak flowed around him, he landed on the ground gracefully. His cloak settling around his feet as he stood up. Tamari had hearts in her eyes as she looked at Naruto. Damn fangirl. Hinata growled loud enough for Tamari to hear. What was that? Tamari asked. I said, damn fangirl. Hinata said to Tamari. Ladies, please be quiet. Sarutobi said, trying to prevent the almost inevitable catfight. Yes, Hokage-sama. The two said before turning to the arena. Are you two ready? Hayate asked. I am, but I don't know if the Dobi is. Kiba said. Like I am scared of a mutt and his master. Naruto said. Akamaru isn't a mutt. Kiba yelled. I wasn't calling Akamaru a mutt. Naruto said calmly, making Kiba angry. Start the match, I want to kill him. Kiba yelled. Begin. Hayate said as Kiba went through a set of hand signs. This will be over in one move. Kiba said as he dropped to all fours. Four-legged jutsu. Kiba exclaimed before disappearing and hitting Naruto. They watched as Naruto grabbed each of his hands and slid back a few inches. One move, huh? Naruto asked. I could see you moving. Naruto said before he vanished, and Kiba was barely able to block an attack that sent him sprawling to the ground. My speed has decreased too. Naruto said as he vanished again and repeatedly attacked Kiba as Akamaru tried to help. Wow, this is so boring. Naruto said as he looked at the battered Kiba, who was somehow still standing. I will take Hinata from you. Kiba gasped. Bad thing to say, Kiba. Naruto said as Kiba threw a soldier pill to Akamaru, who started to turn red and jumped onto Kiba's back as he made a hand sign. Man-beast clone. He exclaimed as Akamaru turned into a copy of Kiba. Dual piercing fang. Kiba yelled as Akamaru and Kiba started spinning towards him. Naruto yawned and flicked his wrist, creating a large gust of wind that knocked Akamaru and Kiba into the wall, knocking them out. Ops, forgot my chakra control sucks. Naruto said, sticking his tongue out and bonking his head. Hinata chuckled and shook her head at her boyfriend. Winner Naruto Uzumaki. Hayate said as the medics came and retrieved Kiba and Akamaru. Naruto stretched his back and leapt up to the observer's deck. I wanted to toy with him some more. Naruto said a little disappointedly. Oh, Naruto-kun. Hinata said with a smile before hugging him as Tamari glared daggers into Hinata. Hinata looked over Naruto's shoulder to see Tamari glaring at her and stuck her tongue out at Tamari. Hinata Hyuga and Neji Hyuga, please come down. Hayate called as Hinata begrudgingly pulled herself away from Naruto. She leapt to the arena floor and gracefully landed like Naruto had done. She faced her cousin. Hello, Neji ni-san. Hinata said as she saw him glare at her. Hinata-sama. Neji spat. You should give up, you are a weakling. Neji said, trying to play on her self-confidence issues. I am not giving up, Neji ni-san. Hinata said calmly. You can begin the match at any time. Hinata said. Alright, begin. Hayate said as Neji dropped into the standard Hyuga gentle fist stance. Hinata dropped into a more relaxed version of the Hyuga gentle fist stance. Hey, you can't even do the stance correctly. Neji insulted. That is because this isn't the regular gentle fist stance. Hinata said as Neji attacked her. Hinata was easily dodging and deflecting Neji's hits while dealing her own onto Neji. Neji had activated his Byakugan at the beginning of the fight, while Hinata has yet to activate hers. Hinata's Byakugan instantly activated and Hinata's stance lowered at the same time her foot shot out, knocking Neji off balance. Water gentle fist style. 64 water palms. Hinata exclaimed as water appeared onto her hands as she went into the attacks, shutting down Neji's chakra points and putting water into his joints, locking them up. Once she was finished with the attack, she felt her power pulse. Up in the stands, Naruto's eyes widened. Oh god, it is happening. Naruto gasped as Hinata fell to her knees while grasping her head. Please let that attack leave Neji incapacitated for long enough. Naruto thought as he looked at the two. Come on Hinata-chan. Naruto thought as he felt a massive amount of chakra suddenly release from Hinata as her head snapped back. What is happening to her? Kurenai exclaimed. She has activated the Tenchi Byakugan. Naruto said as they watched as the chakra formed wings on her back. Ah! Hinata screamed as the back of her shirt and coat ripped apart as bones and flesh started to form on her back. Indigo feathers started to form on the wings on her back. What is happening to her? Kurenai demanded. The Tenchi Byakugan can only be activated by someone with a kind heart, and we all know that Hinata is the nicest person that you would ever meet. Naruto said. The nicer the person, the greater the power she will get. Naruto said as the chakra started to dissipate as the wings spread out to a total of 6 feet on each side. Her power level is now close to my own. Naruto said as he noticed Neji starting to get up. The wings folded onto Hinata's back. What happened to me? Hinata thought as she activated her Byakugan and she noticed she had lost her blind spot and the distance she could see was tripled. She stood as she felt something on her back. She looked behind herself to see the two indigo wings. Hinata turned right as Neji attacked and she instinctively blocked with her wings. She knocked Neji back with the wings and attacked again. Water gentle fist style. 128 water palms. Hinata yelled as she unleashed her attack onto the unsuspecting Neji, making him fall to the ground with every single one of his chakra points closed and all of his joints filled with water. Hinata was surprised because she could never do those attack in succession without losing a lot of her chakra. Hayate was stunned at Hinata's new appearance. He shook his head. Winner Hinata Hyuga. He said as he noticed that Neji couldn't move. Naruto was cheering from up and on the deck. She turned and leapt gracefully up to the deck. She looked at Naruto with her now bright violet eyes. Naruto smiled at her before hugging her. You are not stunned, how come? Hinata asked. I knew you would activate the Tenchi Byakugan. Naruto said. What is the Tenchi Byakugan? Hinata asked. It not only advances you Byakugan, turning your lavender eyes to bright violet ones, you gain wings, and your chakra has skyrocketed. Naruto told her. And you didn't want to warn me? Hinata asked with her hands on her hips. Well, it is normally activated when you are 15 or 16. Naruto said. But I guess you were just too kind. Naruto told her. I guess I am. Hinata said, smiling at him. How do I look with wings? She asked nervously. Even more beautiful. Naruto whispered into her ear as he lightly stroked her wings. Thank you Naruto-kun. Hinata whispered back before kissing him as she hugged him with her arms and wings. How can I compete with that? Temari thought, a bit disappointed before turning back to the match between her brother and a weird green spandex wearing boy, and one guess on who that is, hee hee. Third gate of life release. Lee yelled as his skin turned red. Naruto could hear Lee's bones and muscles tearing. Reverse lotus, he yelled as he kicked Gaara into the air. Lee is going to lose. Naruto thought sadly as he looked at his new friend. The two smashed into the ground, but Gaara's gourd turned to sand, softening his hit. Lee had bounced across the arena floor and was barely conscious. He looked at Gaara as his face started to crumble in. A sand clone. Lee thought as he felt sand wrap around his leg and arm. Sand coffin. Came the chilly voice. Sand burial. The voice said as Lee shouted in pain. Lee is unable to continue. Gaara has won. Hayate said as the sand started to fly towards Lee, but it burst in all different directions as Guy had Lee behind him. You will not touch Lee. Guy said dangerously. Why do you protect that weakling? Gaara asked coldly. Because he is like a son to me. Guy said as Gaara scuffed and walked away. Naruto looked sadly at Lee as he was taken away. Hinata had her head buried in Naruto's chest. It is okay. Naruto whispered into her ear as he rubbed her back. He will be lucky to ever walk again. Why did he try to kill Lee-kun? Hinata sobbed. Because his seal is faulty. Naruto said as Hinata looked up with teary eyes. He has the Shukaku no Ikibi, and I am not sure if that is correct, sealed into him the one-tailed raccoon. Kyubi has told me that since she gained that spot she has been cocky. Naruto told Hinata. Naruto looked at the match while he rubbed Hinata's back soothingly. He watched as Choji became a big boulder and rolled around trying to crush the Sound Shinobi. He saw the Sound Shinobi stop Choji, and a little while later Choji's jutsu disappeared and he was unconscious. That wasn't spectacular. Naruto thought to himself as Hayate called everyone down. You will pick a number and we will decide who fight who. Hayate said as Hinata and Naruto walked up. Naruto put his hand into the bucket and pulled a 1 out and showed it to Hayate. Hinata reached in and pulled a 4 out and she sighed in relief. Each person went up and got the numbers. Okay, first match will be Naruto Uzumaki vs Gaara, second match will be Sasuke Uchiha vs Hinata Hyuga, third match will be Shino Aburame vs Kankuro, fourth match will have 2 matches, first one will be Shikamaru Nara vs Tamari, then the winner of that match will fight Duso. Hayate said as he showed the matches to everyone. You will have a month to either rest or train, you can pick whichever you want. Hayate said before vanishing. So Hinata-chan want to go on a date before we go train? Naruto asked. Of course I would. Hinata said as the two vanished. Thanks for listening, I hope you guys liked it, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.